So everyone, welcome to Profit and Loss and Personal Budgeting for Realtors. This is probably the least popular of what I teach and coach on because it's one of the toughest things for us as realtors to admit or buckle up on. We love to talk about sales volume and all that good stuff, and here's how many houses I sold last year, but are we really making any money? Are we really making any headway? And that's part of the reason when I joined Exit Realty, why I looked for a company with a residual model to help out agents beyond just listings and sales, but also to focus on listings and sales as actual profit and loss, and also what's going on in your personal world. Because what I know from 20 years in the business, and what you may know even if you're 6 months in the business, is there are a lot of realtors with terrible habits. We don't save up for taxes. We certainly don't save up for retirement. There is no 401k from our companies. And so we really set ourselves up for failure from day one if we don't do some simple things. So Core Coaching is the company that I'm involved with. That's the coaching program that I am in as a student of their level 3, which is their highest level. And they're very intense into making sure that you really have a great all-around quality of life. So, at Exit, and just real quick to remember, guys, you often talk to me when you talk about money, you talk about your splits. 70-30 base split. After your first 20 deals with us, you go to 80%. At 100,000, you go to 100%. And that's where the conversation stops. If I asked you, what's your profitability on what you took home out of that 80 or 70% or 100% if you're capped out with us for the year, you wouldn't be able to tell me a lot of times. And I also know that many of you are not yet really keyed into multiple income streams. And that only happens when you focus on your profit and loss statement. You cannot start investing for yourself unless you have a profitable business. Most banks will not lend to you as a realtor unless you're a profitable business. And that's not only what comes home on your 1099, that's what, if you're running as a business, which you are owning your own business, it just happens to be powered by and affiliated with us, this is what you have to do. You have to do a profit and loss statement. I want you guys to be investing in flippings and even more so buys and hold real estate investments. I want you to have residual bonuses, but if you're not tracking yourself, you're not building wealth. So let's dive in and see what this is all about. So profit and loss statement. This is a form that I can email to you. I'm going to send it to everyone in my coaching program or at Exit Strategy Realty because this is a great adjustable form. Both of these forms are just Microsoft Excel spreadsheets. They can also be opened in Google Sheets, so you can do these on the fly from anywhere. So I'm going to use my actual live profit and loss statement. So if you make, whatever you make, that's your business. I do mine truly live on the fly. So I have my December. I've just about finished my January, but I'll go ahead and do my December with you. I'm going to explain it line by line so that you can then do this on your own at home. So let's get into it. So on section 1, we're going to the left-hand columns. So the left-hand columns, you're going to see my mouse over here. I'm going to be moving and highlighting things. The left-hand columns, this is all your expenses. This is all your expenses. Obviously, what you're spending money on for your business every month. So the first line is office expenses. These are the set fixed things that you spend money on as a business owner. So you should not have a huge amount of things here, but there are things that aren't going to deviate from month to month. So for example, I have Core Coaching. So I'm coaching with them. I know that bill comes every month and I know exactly what it is. These are your fixed overhead bills. So you as an agent don't have rent. So my profit and loss statement as an agent, so my agent income is different from, I do happen to own the office. That's a separate profit and loss sheet. It's not as nice as the sheet because there's a lot more overhead. But you as agents here at Exit, we don't have desk fees, so you're not paying that. You don't pay any of the overhead, but you may be involved in a coaching program. Obviously, ours is free internally, but a lot of you, some of you are spending money on ads that have a fixed income, a fixed expense every month. So maybe you had Zillow. So if you were Zillow or Realtor.com, you would put that fixed expense a month here. That used to be something I did until I got really more into referrals. So whatever's here, that's going to be, you're going to put that item there and you're going to put the amount right next to it. So that's that fixed monthly expenses. Those are your office expenses. So mine, for my real estate agent business, my only fixed expense every month and that there's a caveat to this in a moment, my only fixed expense every month that truly is an office expense, that is $2,750 a month. So it's an expensive coaching program. I love it. But I spend money on that so I can teach it to you guys and you don't have to spend that money. Wage expenses. So those of you with an assistant in the core program, we call that RP1s. RP2s are, of course, your licensed team members, and they don't cost you necessarily any money unless you're paying them a fixed wage. But any person that's on a wage with you, RP1 or RP2, assistant or a team member that's not on a commission split with you, they are going to be listed here. So I share the amazing Victoria with another agent in our office. I could not do my business without Victoria at this point. And December was, for us, there was a lot of other stuff going on. Didn't have a lot of hours with her. January looked a lot different for us, but December, I paid $600. So that's how much her hourly was total. And then miscellaneous expenses. These are your non-fixed income or non-fixed expenses every month. And this is really where agents get into trouble. This is the outside website. If you're not using our website, that's that $19.99 or $29 or $109 a month. That's those silly little technologies that you're paying per month, maybe through iTunes or some other service or on your credit card. Take a look at your credit card and debit card, your monthly statements, and figure out where you're spending money that you're not using. I'll give you an example. I had a toll-free number for years. I paid, I think, $10 or $15 a month. Hadn't used it, hadn't even put it on a sign in 5 years. Why was I paying that money every month? Saved myself, I think, $170 for the year just by cutting that one bill. Would have never even figured it out until I looked at my monthly statement, credit card and my bank statement where my debit card runs through, and realized that that was on there. Now, if you're really smart, you're going to eventually open up a separate business account. You're probably going to form an S corporation or maybe an LLC or regular corporation, but S corporations are very easy. I can show you how to do that. And then all your business expenses go through that business. It makes it a lot easier to track them. I put a lot of my business expenses on American Express. I then get all the points. So you think about that for later. But I don't care how your business is set up, whether you're just an independent contractor, that's called a sole proprietor, anything like that, you have miscellaneous expenses. So I spend a lot of money every month with Facebook and Instagram. In December, I spent $489.12 of them, boosting my ads, my price reductions, my new listings, things like that. VHT listing photos. I only had one listing that needed new photos or needed photos in December. So I used them, whatever listing service photograph service for your listings or for anything. There was that bill. Binny's and Starbucks are the two places I spend a decent amount of money at. Binny's, I get a number of bottles of champagne every month to celebrate people at their closing. And then also Starbucks. And I didn't spend money on Starbucks in December, but I did in November and January. Starbucks is where I get my little $5 gift card that I give out to friends on their birthday. I do that direct mail to them. I think that's so important to keep in touch. So that I spent money on, and then postage. So I summed that all up at the end, and the subtotal of that category is $880. That category used to be huge for me and a lot more money because I was spending stupid money, just not tracking this. So figure out where in your business that you're spending money, and are you getting a return on that? Am I getting a return on my Facebook ads, VHT, my listings, photos, things like that? Everything you want to monitor and make sure you're getting a return on that. Okay, personal expenses. These are the other expenses that if you sold your business tomorrow, so if I said Nick Libert is a real estate agent, is retiring, and I'm moving to Belize or someplace like that, I don't know. I'm never retired, but if I were to retire, I would not probably try to pawn off certain expenses on my replacement. Maybe they would travel smarter and have less personal expenses. So what are the business-related expenses that probably would not transfer with me, would not transfer to the new owner of the company if I sold my entity, my real estate, quote-unquote, empire that we all are running individually, your own brand? So my truck payment, don't gas, it's an ugly one, almost paid off. But that truck payment is large, and there it is, the amount. I just don't even want to say it to you, every month. I then tracked my gas for the month, my vehicle gas. This for all of us, your car payment and your vehicle gas and your parking and any tickets. Sometimes I get tickets. Tickets on that card, that's expensive. As a realtor, if you are an S Corp and that is the sole use of that vehicle, consult with your CPA, your tax consultant, but that is a business expense, and they're heavy, and that's probably not going to transfer to the new owner. They probably do not want your used vehicle. Cell phone, that cell phone, you're probably going to end up starting to use that cell phone if you ever retire or sell your business for your personal use and wouldn't want to sell that cell phone number or anything or have someone else pay that bill. You'd be stuck with it. So that cell phone number that you use for business, there's that number. There's that line item. Some of us take Ubers to closings and to events where it's cheaper to do that than parking. So here was my total, large amount, again, in that personal expense category. All of us dining out, things like that that are related to business. That's a category that if you're trying to lean up, we talked last week about statistics in the industry and some tightening in the market. These are the places, all of these expense places are where you can lean up. So this is the expenses. It adds up at the bottom, and there's your subtotal. So my total expenses are $6,241.21 a month. So that is quite a large business expense. Some of you spend a lot more money up here in this fixed expenses on advertising. You've got stuff going on with Zillow or Realtor.com or other vendors that I don't even know about. That's your business, but make sure whatever you are spending money on up here or any of these categories, you are getting a return on this investment. So let's not go over those more fun categories. Income, outside revenue. So that really does not relate to most agents. But what I do want, same way with title revenue, you don't own a title company. I'm assuming you don't. Maybe you do. But most of us are not in that position either. Here's in section 2, the fun one for us at Exit. Referral fees. If you're getting referral fees, this is all commission-related income or your business-related income that would be not your direct commissions. So if you have a team member, see this where it says buyer's agents? If you have a team member that you're getting income off of, but it was not a lead that you directly gave them, and you're either charging them a referral fee or they're on some sort of split with you within your team, I can talk to you a little bit more about that personally, but it would go in one of these two categories, referral fees or buyer agents. So for those of us with very small teams or that don't take a cut off of our team members, we're not going to have anything there. But at Exit, we are going to have residuals. So in December, I raised or earned from Exit Realty International $7,915.48. So I didn't have any referral fees from team members or any of you if I gave you a referral that I was too busy for, but I did get $7,915 in residuals. So that it goes into my total other revenue. Some of you smaller time agents that are still building your empire, that you're going to consistently have zeros in column 2. I want to encourage you, especially if you're at Exit, well, really, this is the company to be at for that, to build up this residuals, because in general, the rule of thumb is a really, really healthy agent business will have enough in section 2. See section 2, here's my total revenue. I'm going to highlight this. Section 2 total revenue will have more money in it, will raise more money every month than your expenses for your business. So you would run a profit on your business before you ever even got to your personal sales. Does that make sense? So you could, if a really healthy business, and mine pretty much consistently now, the last 2 years, every month I bring in more in residuals than I do spend in expenses. So my business is profitable before I sell the first house. That is my vision for each one of you, and you can only do that at Exit. Talk to me if you want to learn more about residual bonuses. Okay, section 3. Section 3 is your personal revenue. A pay log. That can be a notebook. That can be just you printing out your statements from our business manager. Angela can help you. Or even easier, you can go into your Exit report card, your agent report card, which is just right under reports in ExitRealty.com in our back office. And you can print out and see how many deals you did last month and what you earned on those. So what I brought home from my 5 deals I did in December, I had 5 deals, I brought home $33,438.02. So $33,438.02. And then if you want to know what you made per deal, there that is down below. And so then it repeats again, your total revenue, your personal revenue, $33,438. So then it says add these up. So section 2, your residuals, anything else, your outside income beyond your personal sales, and your section 3, that is your total gross income. Now this is where most people, they've run home with their money. Sometimes they don't even know if they have any residuals because they're not paying attention to that. They don't know what they made last month, or they know what they made, but we never add up what we spent. And so I spent $6,000. I didn't take home $41,000. And guys, we're not even done yet. This is where realtors, all of us, really have gotten into trouble at one point or another if we've been around long enough. There's the $41,000 I made. Then there's the $6,241 I spent. So there's my taxable income, $35,000. A lot of us have run out, including myself at one point or another, and spent all that $35,000. That's not what you're safe to take home, guys. You have to save, on average, this is just an estimate. You talk to your accountant, your tax advisor, to see what you really should put in this spot. But I'm putting 25% that I put in a separate bank account that I can't touch now, 25% of my taxable income. So that's $8,778 and some change that I have to save for my quarterly estimated tax, instead of running a huge bill up and hoping at the end of the year magically a giant check comes and saves the day, which it almost never does. So my after-tax income, $26,000 that month. So not a bad month. So it repeats down below what your taxable income is, your profit, which again is section 2 up here, minus section 1. Did you run a profit on the straight up business before you sold any real estate yourself? That's your goal, to help run a profit there. And then obviously you really hope you ran a great profit after you include your own sales. And it's reminding you again, here's your personal expenses that you ran through the company that would stay with you and not move with the company should you ever sell your company. Because again, we are all building our own brand. That is my vision for you as well. So speaking of vision, I want you guys to be, that is the profit and loss statement in general. So we got through that. No one got off the call. I know that's rough. It's not fun to look at that sometimes, because it realizes we have to make more money in order to really live the lifestyle we want to lead. And speaking of lifestyle, speaking of vision, let's go into personal budget. I want you to be able to invest in real estate. That's why we are at Exit. That's why we provided the residual bonuses to you. It makes it easier to do this. But overall, you cannot do anything, I don't care how much money you're making, if you're not saving money. It has taken me forever to learn this and get this right. So please learn from my mistakes and get with this early. So your personal family budget, month and year. And by the way, your profit and loss for December. So this is the after-tax income. That's what I took home. That number is going to be right over here in total paychecks. So there's your rents, your dividends, your residuals, your refunds, all your stuff. Obviously, your commission checks are the biggest part of that, probably. That all comes in over here. So if you've got rental income and anything else that you're running through your personal life, that would come over here as well. Here is all your jobs, all your commission checks, everything together, $26,334.22 is what I brought home after I saved for taxes in December. You notice this says on January, because obviously you're saying, okay, here's what I have to work with. Here's the money that I have in my account at the beginning of the month that I brought in. And then here's the unfun part. Here is all the bills for the month. So house payment. So I was lucky enough through our bonus program to pay off my house, but I still have a huge, ugly property taxes here in Cook County every month or every year. So I divide that along with my assessments by 12, because I know what my condo assessments are. And then here's what I owe between the 2 monthly. It's a big, ugly number, even though I don't have a mortgage anymore. Auto, no note there because I have that car note under the business. It's a business car. Student loans. I keep a student loan, believe it or not. I am still not done paying off law school. I could pay it off, but at this point it's my longest running trade line. So for those of you like me that really want to keep our credit up amazing, you've got to have a couple good trade lines open. This is not a trade line or credit class. We'll have that another day because I want you guys to have great credit. But make sure to keep a couple lines open that are old and experienced that you paid on every month. An old tax debt. I was going to be, but not be too transparent and just take that off. These are real numbers, guys. I have an IRS install payment with the IRS from a really, really good year a couple years ago that I did not yet. I'm going to go back to the screen again. I did not yet save up money for Uncle Sam And that year I had to go on a payment plan with them. That is embarrassing to admit, but I wanted to tell you guys, you are not alone if you're on one. And do not get on one. It is not, they're not nice. So avoid that. Save that 25% like I'm telling you to avoid. Your utility bills, track that stuff. Save money where you can. Sometimes the silliest bills, my personal budget, I'll share with you a story quickly. We've only got about 9 minutes left here. But I'll share with you quickly. You know, I had at one point in a landline, I don't think many of us do anymore. I cut that out. But my cable bill was massive. It was like $150 a month. Channels I didn't watch, things I didn't care about. I got that down in half, you know, $70 a month times 12. You know, that is a good amount of money. That's your $840. Could you then put $840 over the course of a year into your savings account? Yes, you could if you were really disciplined. So think about that stuff. Anything else, they want you to track your groceries, doctor bills, dining out, gym. That's my Barry's membership. I don't think there's a gym in existence. It's that expensive, but I love my Barry's. Do you give? Charitable giving. I've got giving to one of the charities I'm involved with on an auto debit every month. Spending money. I had a good month in December, so I transferred money into my flip project to finish out a flip project. And then obviously here's where we really want you to focus as well. Did you save any money? So after I spent all my money and paid my bills, I still had money left. What did I have? I had $5,376.83 left over, and that is what I transferred into my money market account. So I saved last month after I spent everything else, saved $5,376. That is a pretty cool thing that I was not tracking, that I was not doing until recently. So then below they're saying, where's your money? What's your float balance in your money market account or your savings account? We all know realtor income, you know, comes, ebbs and flows. And it comes in waves, and then sometimes it's not any waves. It's a very shallow pool. So we need to save money. We need to have a savings account or a float account. And so there's some calculations on that saying, do you have a monthly survival number times 3? Because what in a terrible downturn if you had 3 months without a closing. So we want that in a savings account. That is from Core, and I wholeheartedly agree with them. And so that is what they recommend. So then there is it's tracking, because this sheet, unlike profit and loss, which is every month, this sheet is monthly, but then if you look, there's columns at the bottom. So January has a month, February has a month, March has a month, all of that good stuff. So February, I'm obviously not done it because we're not done with closings and everything yet, but I'm starting that number now. And so here is, and some, you know, my numbers, your numbers will be different than that. What do you have in your 401k? Or for us as realtors, that should say SEP IRA, but you may have a 401k from your other job. Mine is a SEP IRA. Mutual funds in addition, any stocks that are just being held individually. Do you have equity in your home? You know, I've got luckily a lot of equity in my home. I don't have as much in my SEP IRA as I'd like yet. That was a decision I made to pay my house off instead, but you may feel differently. Either way, track these numbers monthly, because sometimes you're going to see a trend that you're not saving enough, or you need to move money and reallocate funds. If you've got a ton of money in cash, good for you, but should you be investing in more real estate, maybe investing in another rental? That's my goal for this year, is to get another rental. Think of all that. So this is what comes out between the profit and loss statement and the personal budget when you are really on point with your numbers. So when we say know your numbers, it's not sales volume. Yes, that's important, but guys, I don't know whether you're charging sometimes a huge commission, whether you're discounting a commission, you know, until after the closing. I don't know those numbers, and you may not be tracking them either. Are you making a profit on your business? Are you spending money in places that don't make sense? Are you saving money in places that do make sense? I'm very passionate about this. That's why I'm at Exit with the residual bonuses. That's why I'm coaching on this. I'm going to record this for you. It's going to be on LinkedIn as well as YouTube. YouTube will just be a video. LinkedIn will have some commentary to it. And I really appreciate you guys being here today. If you have any questions, I will stick around after the recording for anything in the chat window. But again, I really, really appreciate you being here today and taking the time to not just watch this, but ask for the profit and loss statement and personal budget forms and doing them. I'm happy to coach you on them individually. I love doing this stuff. This is my passion. Have a great day. I appreciate you being here. I'll wait for any questions after I stop recording.